Hey guys, Kill Lancer here. Want to another Kill Lancer game? Don't forget the bell button, the subscribe button to get the notifications to my channel. Alright guys, we're back on Game Rant again with some gaming news. And this time, this article was done by Jared, February 26, 2020. And let's dive into it. Square Enix not making next-gen exclusives anytime soon. Square Enix confirms in a recent investors Q&A what the company's strategy for the next gen releases will be as new consoles release this year. Okay, it seems as though that Square Enix isn't quite ready to jump onto the next gen hyper train with new releases to be exclusively launched on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. According to the recent investors Q&A hosted by Square Enix, the company will continue to work on games for the current generation of consoles, likely to keep games like the episode Final Fantasy VII Remake contained on one console generation. This news comes from a financial was a briefing conducted on February 5th, 2020, and it is meant to give investors an idea of where the company is headed in the next official year. President and Representative Director Yusuke praised as the main speaker, and it would seem that his answers to one of the questions in the Q&A is what confirms Square Enix's current development strategy to focus away from exciting next-gen features and towards availability of titles. Okay. When asked about the company's intentions with the development of the next-gen releases, Masuda claims that at the moment Square Enix is looking to utilize the backwards capability that is meant to come standard with both the PS5 and Xbox Series X. As a result, the company feels confident in continuing to develop games for current gen consoles for the time being, and allowing the next gen systems most compelling feature to offer players the chance to try out these games on the new consoles. Considering the long-term goals for Square Enix titles like Final Fantasy VII Remake, a decision like this makes sense from a business standpoint to keep related games together. Okay. The Q&A also came with some important information straight from Masuda about some of the titles that are currently in development and future releases for 2020. According to an answer to another question, recent delays likely won't affect the proper release schedule for Final Fantasy VII Remake's future episodes or other releases within the continuing series. However, it should be noted that since this is investors Q&A and intended to keep those investors interested in the company, some of these statements may need to be taken with a grain of salt, which I kind of was already doing that. When all is said and done, Square Enix deciding to hold off on making next-gen exclusive content may be beneficial to both company and fans. At some point, new games will be coming exclusively to next-gen consoles. Although it seems that even some PS5 launch titles won't be exclusive for the beginning of the system's lifetime. For now, though players can rest assured that upgrading a PS5 and Xbox Series X will be more about features than games when the consoles release this holiday season. Okay, I'm happy with this. Longest Square is continuing to pump out these games for current gen, basically keeping the current gen still alive, because these new systems are not going to be affordable to everybody right off the jump. And usually people say you got to wait a half a year to buy a new console when it comes down to next gen, because they have a lot of things that need to be worked out when it comes down to these next gen consoles. When it came down to me and my brothers and my dad, we always bought the systems the day that they are launched. I bought Nintendo Switch the day it was launched. My money was down on that. I paid that joint off literally months before the doggone system was leased. I put all my money on the system. And for PS5, since we don't have an initial release date for it this year, so I can't put any money down on this right away. And the same thing with the Xbox Series X. But most likely I'm going to put my money down on PlayStation 5 first and pay all that off first, and then put my money down on Xbox Series X after that, and whatever games is going to be released. But the good thing is, when it comes down to Final Fantasy, the game is not going to be delayed for us, the gamers, when it comes down to Episode 2, which most likely Episode 2 is probably going to be released next year, which I'm kind of like, conflicted with that, because I want to be submerged in the game. Even since they're doing episodic, like once you're done beating the game, then the submersion is done. You got to wait and thirst for the next part of the game to be released. But who's to say how far the Episode 2 is going to last into? It's because we all know that Final Fantasy 7 was three CDs, but on the third CD really wasn't that long. It was pretty much, I guess, like the end game to everything when it comes down to the ending and stuff. But also, my brother DX Strike had also put me onto this information that a patent was taken out for Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy 7, which we were just looking at that recently. So hopefully that will be the next game that's going to be coming out after Final Fantasy 7 remake, or it could be a HD remix or something like that. Which is fine, I guess. But I just would prefer if they just like re-strip the game and remake that game from the ground up. He enjoyed the game a lot. I've only played little parts of the game. I didn't make it very far. He, of course, beat the game. We don't need a Crisis Core remake. I don't have any interest in that. I enjoyed it for the PSP, but we don't really need a Crisis Core. But what they really should do is, in my opinion, Advent Children should be an addition to the Final Fantasy VII remake, because back then I've heard that that was supposed to be a particular game revolving around Cloud, but they wound up taking that game and turning it into a CGI movie, which also contradicted Cloud's character. It's like his character reverted himself within that movie. Watching it now and seeing all that Cloud's been through the game and stuff like that, him going back to the way he was, which didn't make any sense. Now that I'm thinking about all this stuff, but I still did enjoy the movie though. I did enjoy the movie. I didn't get the director's cut to the movie at all. But anyway, guys, that does it for the news. Don't forget the bell button, subscribe button to get notifications to my channel, and I have some more gaming news here. So stay tuned, guys. Peace.